Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews, now with Windows Mixed Reality. Today we're going to do a Let's Play and initial impressions review for Meditation Island, a game coming to the Steam store. So far it's set for May 30th, 2020. I'm not sure which VR headsets. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Curator Connect program to review this game. Keep in mind it's a pre-release copy, and this game will also be released in early access on the Steam store. Again, it's supposed to be May 30th. This is a relaxation app, or if you want to call it a nature walk without the walking. Basically, you're in one spot. Currently, there are no interactions. There's no locomotion. On the early access, those things are suggested from the devs as possibilities, but they're wanting feedback from the community to see where they should put their resources on for this experience. So this is an experience, not a game. It's supposed to be, again, a relaxation app. It's running on the Unreal Engine. The graphics look great. This island setup looks amazing. However, there is a however. It's running rather poorly on my 1060 GTX. So I'm getting about 30 frames per second. It does dip sometimes lower than that. So it's not running very good. And it's noticeable when I move my headset, when I look around. And I can see stutter, and I can see warping around the edges as well. As you can see, there's different animations. There's the fire animation. There's the waves coming in and out. And if you look in the water, especially during the daytime, you can see fish looping around. And during the daytime, you can see the birds flying in the air. Here in the nighttime, you can see the stars moving about in the sky. And you can see the moon slowly moving across the horizon, as well as the clouds or the fog that's rolling in. And the vegetations look amazing. The palm trees, you can see the palm leaves just slowly swaying in the air with like a cool little island breeze. The sounds are appropriate. Obviously, it's nighttime, so we can hear the birds, but we can't see them. But when it's daytime, we'll be able to see the birds as well. I guess seagulls. And, yeah, it looks really good. It has a day-night cycle, like we just saw the sun setting. And we'll see the sunrise in a few minutes. It looks amazing, but I'm kind of baffled by the night sky, because it seems like, I'm not sure if those are supposed to be stars or comets looping around like in a circle pattern. There's just way too many, and I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I guess stars or comets, but it just doesn't make sense, because first of all, they don't look high enough in the sky. And second, they just don't look like it. They look like something else. I don't even want to tell you what they look like to me, but they look like something floating around in the sky in a looping animation, in a circle animation, just a little too fast. So that needs to be fixed, because I'm not sure what they were going for with that. It does make the night sky look unrealistic, especially when you're looking straight up. Now, if you're not looking straight up, it looks much better. And you can see the stars and the moon just slowly moving across the horizon. The fire animation is pretty good. The sand looks good. Most things look good, especially like the little mountain island in the distance that's covered by the fog. That looks great. But, again, the cons are pretty big. Like I mentioned, the low frame rates. Some of the poor animations that are really take you away from the immersion just because they don't look real enough. They look so fake that it jars you. Like, what am I looking at? And because of the low frame rates, like I said, I get stutter and I get warping around the edges. you don't use motion controllers. I mean, you can, but they're not really used for anything other than to recenter your position at the start of the game and to start the experience. But you don't need them because you can do that with the keyboard. So I'm not using motion controllers at all. I'm using only keyboard and mouse. I did recenter my position, and that's wonderful. I wish more experiences or apps would recenter you at the start of the experience. That's very important for almost any VR game or experience. And this is running on the Unreal Engine 4, and the visuals are just top of the line. The palm trees, the sand, the water, the vegetation, the flying birds that you'll see when there's more light, all look amazing. But some of the animations aren't very good. One of the poorer animations are the fish in the sea. So when there's some more light, I'll look more closely at the fish, and you can see. And some of the shadows look rather poor also. So we'll wait for the sun to rise, and I'll bring out those issues for you all. As far as my recommendation for this game, I don't know what the price will be, so I can't really score this game or give an ultimate recommendation. But obviously, price will be a big factor in this game because although this game does look beautiful, like I said, the assets, the 3D models, the environments, while they all look good, and there's some good quality animations as well, there's no locomotion. There's no interactions. Some of the looping animations look pretty bad, including the shadows. So it'll depend a lot on the price, on whether I can recommend this experience or not. Even though the visuals are top notch, it does have a lot of cons, a lot of negatives that I would point out. But again, this is a pre-release copy of the game. So this is pre-release, and it'll also release in early access. So the devs are still working on this game, still working to make this a better experience. These are just my initial impressions on my second playthrough, or actually I believe it's my third playthrough in this pre-release copy that I got as part of the Steam Curator Connect program. And you can see the sun is starting to rise in the horizon. We can see some of the light rays starting to bleed out, and that looks wonderful. I really like the day-night cycle in this game. It looks really good. I can't wait to see the sunrise. And yeah, we're about to get that. Now that the fire is out, we know for certain that'll happen in a few. And yeah, the clouds look great. I don't believe the weather varies. I think you always have the same weather during the same, 24-hour day-night cycle. The waves look really good. Maybe they're a little too uniform, the way they crash against the shore. And I don't believe we really saw the water, get closer, during the night and then recede farther during the day. I don't believe the moon affected the waves. But again, overall, I think it looks great, but it's just a little too uniform, if you know what I mean. Okay, so now we're seeing the shadows, and as you can see, the shadows just look a little too flat, like you're seeing a puppet shadow show, against a wall. And so it's not very realistic, the way it's not bleeding into the ocean depths, into the sea depths. And further than that, you'll see the fish swimming, and they almost look like jellyfish floating on top of the water, but they're not. They're actually fish swimming underwater. But again, the looping animation is bad because they just show the fish like constantly coming in a steady stream, which makes it look unrealistic. But also just the water and the way the fish look in this clear water, it's hard to tell that they're actually under the water and they're not on top of the water, because it kind of looks like jellyfish floating on top of the water, but it's not. It's actually fish, tropical fish, swimming underwater. If you look really closely, you can see that difference. And now you can see the little bit of the coral reef that's very close to where we are, and the water's so clear that you can see it. So yeah, I mean, there's things I do like about this app. It's beautiful, no doubt about that. But whether I can recommend it or not in the future is going to depend on the price and whether they add any more features, because I really do think this needs more features. Whether it's interactions, whether it's more environments, or whether it's locomotion. It definitely needs more, and definitely needs a fine-tuning on the shadows, on some of the animations. And before I forget, look up at the sky, we see the seagulls, I believe. Are those seagulls? Maybe not. You know what? I don't think they are seagulls. But definitely some type of eyelid bird or seabird. And you'll see them flying up above. But again, there's like too many of them. They're like all like going around in like circular patterns, either counterclockwise or clockwise. And because of the way they're flying around, so many and so close, it just doesn't look realistic. Contrast that with the palm trees, the way that they're slowly swaying in the island breeze. It looks wonderful. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. This is Meditation Island, my Let's Play and initial impressions review. Yeah, it's going to depend on the price. Anyways, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.